MZTV.
Watch out, because I'm about to talk about politics for a little bit. I owe you a show on politics because people are asking me to comment on the riots in the United States that are tearing down cities. People want to know what this has to do with Trump. What does it have to do with the scenario of the final years of Millennium 6? It actually has something to do with it. It actually does apply. And I know some people will mock this and say, these things have been going on for a long time. There's always riots here. There's always riots there. Yeah, but the problem is these things are now taking place in the final years of Millennium 6. I mean, everything contributes down through the years, but you have to keep in mind where we are on the calendar, on the 6,000 year calendar. And when we're in year 5993 by this time, 5993, yeah. So, no, 5992. Yeah, I get mixed up there about a year. But there's going to be 7 more years left, I believe. Starting next spring is the beginning of the tribulation, according to the calculations I have been studying from other people who are in the know. I can't do math very well, but I'm looking at the logic behind it, and I'm looking at the spirituality behind the 6,000 year plan for humanity. And it makes total sense. A. Enoch said it made total sense in his studies in the book of Daniel. But he said we can't believe it because it's not stated in Scripture. Scripture does not say there is a 6,000 year plan. But what he did say was it's very elegant, it's very beautiful. And he basically said, yeah, this makes sense. This is how God's doing it. And it's all about elapsed time. So we have a political situation in America based on the murder of a black man by a white cop, which was absolutely horrendous. Just people are sick. I don't understand it. You know the thing. I'm not going to go through it again. It probably was a racist act. I don't know. Either that or the cop just had was on some kind of power trip, and he would have knelt on anybody's neck, no matter who it was. But I tend to think it is racist. That cop in particular. And there are cases of racism flare up occasionally. Some people are systemic racists. Yes, I know this exists. I'm not ignorant. But I also know that there is a political party. Hey, here comes my politics. Watch out now. I'll give you 5 seconds to check out. 4, 3. It's your fault. If you stay on board. 2, 1, boom. There is a political party that likes to fan racism, that likes to not fan it, but even create it. There's a political party in the United States that profits from people seeing themselves as victims, because this particular political party then sets itself up as, we will save you from these terrible people who are oppressing you. And really, they're not being oppressed. Who is that idiot who staged that racial hate crime? Jesse Smollett. The racial situation in America, I mean, without the flames being fanned, without this false imposition of racism, to prove that our country has made amends for past sins and made progress, is that this idiot had to invent a racial hate crime. He couldn't get one to happen to himself. He's a black man. Couldn't get a racial crime against himself because the environment's just too good for it. And so he had to invent one, right? His buddies bought Make America Great Again caps and staged this whole racial crime. That's how good it is. You have to make up the frickin' crimes. Well, unless you come an isolated case like this. But this doesn't mean that the country is racist. The country's not racist, but it's the Democratic Party, the left, that needs victims, right? I've told you many times, the liberal mindset, the left mindset, is that they want power so badly that they want other people to depend on them, i.e. depend on government, and so they want big government, because they like people to eat out of their hand. And the worst thing you can do to a leftist is to have people self-sufficient, because then if you're self-sufficient, you don't need them, just like the religionists. People who are spiritually self-sufficient do not need religion. But religion creates victims. Well, you're going to hell for eternity. That's talk about victimhood. Jesus Christ, you're going to hell for eternity. So if you want to get out of that, you need us. And so this whole race thing is fanned. It's created. It's stoked. It's constantly mentioned that, don't you know, you're oppressed, whether it's blacks, Hispanics, women, whatever. There's a political party in this country who wants to remind these people constantly that they're oppressed. And even if they're not oppressed, they want to convince them that they're oppressed. Oh, now we're oppressed. Now we're a terrible situation. So what do we do now? Well, you need us. We're going to punish your oppressors. When the oppressors are not really oppressing at all, generally speaking. Generally speaking. I'm in Fort Lauderdale here. We have a mix of blacks, Hispanics, whites. We all get along great. Yeah, we do. We all get along great. It's not a problem. Unless somebody tries to convince the person of the minority that, well, you're victimized. Don't you know that the white man owes you? Don't you know that your country owes you because we oppressed you 200, 300 years ago? Don't you know? 100 years ago, whatever, 150. You owe us, or they owe you. The government owes you. And so this constant fanning. There was this guy staying here in like early 2017 after Trump was inaugurated. I was still living at the laundry room, and I got this crazy liberal dude who obviously been lefty educated. There's so much division in this country because Trump was elected, and all kinds of people were protesting, of course, you know, the resist movement, the Women's March, all this BS. This is what the guy, there's so much division in this country. And I said, then stop dividing it. Then you and your ilk quit dividing it. Quit complaining. Quit bitching. Just let Trump be president. For God's sake. You're part of the problem. It's so divided. Then quit dividing it. Just shut up and let Trump be your president. I hated Obama. I thought he's the worst president in the history of the human race. Does that make me racist? Some people would say so. And I insist that one of the reasons Obama was elected is because of white guilt. Yes. White people have been made to feel so oppressive and so supremacy-oriented that we had to vote for Obama to prove we weren't racist. And unfortunately, that's what happened. Yeah, that was a big deal. A lot of people voted for Obama. And talk about racist. 90% of blacks vote for Obama. That's racist. Hello. Did you know what Joe Biden said? Who's the moron on the left that's a presidential candidate? I'm gonna choose a woman for my vice president. What's that called? That's basically, in a backhanded way, misogyny. It's basically It's the soft bigotry of low expectations. Oh, remember that phrase, the soft bigotry of low expectations. Well, we know a woman couldn't, really qualify for the ticket, for the vice presidential spot. We know a woman couldn't qualify, so I'm not going to take the best qualified person, says Biden. No, I'm going to take a woman. Guarantee I'm going to take a woman. If I was the woman chosen, and sometimes I think I might be, I would be offended because I realize the only reason I'm being chosen is for my gender. That's the only reason I'm being chosen. It's the same with this affirmative action thing where we've decided that since certain minorities are minorities and in the past they've been oppressed, that therefore we're going to give them special advantage, right? Like if you're of a certain race, this is called identity politics. If you're of a certain race, we're going to give you advantages. What is this but soft bigotry of low expectations? Like, we know you can't make it on your own. Well, obviously, you're a woman or you're black. You can't make it on your own. So we're going to put you at the front of the line and we're going to give you advantage over the supreme white race. And so instead of saying, and many minorities do this, thank God, and instead of saying, screw you, we'll make it on our own. Screw you. We'll make it on our own. Don't pander to me. Don't treat me like an invalid. Don't treat me like a child. I don't need special treatment. I'm going to make it on my own. Hey. That's USA. That's the USA. You're going to make it on your own? Fantastic. Make it on your own. We're going to equal the playing field. That's what this country should be. Equality for all. Equality for all doesn't mean giving anybody an advantage. Just like we're just going to level the playing field. We're going to give the same rules to everybody, and may the best man or woman win. May the best man win. If you're not the best, then Sorry, you're in second place. We don't care what your race is. Oh, but no, 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 no. In America, now, they teach this in colleges to skulls full of mush that the white man is evil. The white people founded the country. The country is evil because of that. It's like we've never done anything good. Yep, slavery was a scourge, and we got rid of it because it's terrible. I ask any black person today, have you ever been a slave? Was your mother a slave? No. Any white person, have you ever owned slaves? No. Hey, guess what? We've basically gotten over it. Okay, we've made amends. All right? Not saying there aren't pockets of racism, but these days there's racism against whites. Ho ho, yeah. Oh, shit. So George Floyd, this terrible crime, it's been used as an excuse for mainly black people, I think, who feel that they've been slighted, who have this victim mentality just beat into them. It's an opportunity for them to just go apeshit crazy, loot stores, rob stores, burn down cities. Not saying white people aren't doing it too, because we have Antifa. Yeah. Isn't it weird, a culture we live in where fascism, where people who are fascists are called anti-fascists? That's pretty strange. Tell me what burning a store down has to do with making this situation that happened in Minneapolis, making that right. How does it make that right? Can somebody tell me that? No, you can't, because it's just an excuse. It's just an excuse for people who have been told for years that they're oppressed, even though they're really not that oppressed. They're keeping themselves oppressed because they feel like they belong in this minority. Just like that guy that told me that says here, like, we're so divided. You're divided because you choose to have this mentality, this identity mentality, where people put you into a category, right? And somebody put this guy into a category of a disaffected lefty. And so instead of thinking, well, better luck next time, try to win the next election. Try to have a candidate that doesn't suck. Hey, start with that. Maybe if you had a candidate that didn't suck, maybe you could have beat Trump. Well, so Trump's president, shut up. That's what I did with Obama. I thought Obama was the worst president ever. But I just said, okay, be the president. Be the president for 8 years. See what happens. Well, we did. So here's how it applies to Trump and the final years of Millennium 6. Tried to make this short. I'm already at 13 minutes, not 12:40. Okay. Here's the deal. Trump has an opportunity. This guy has gotten really slow. Trump has gotten slow. He's gotten slow. He's after the election, he started making political calculations. It's like, don't do that. Go with your frickin' instinct, right? Never should have shut the country down after this stupid fake fear on this stupid pandemic. I'm not saying the virus wasn't real. The fear was purposely fanned to wreck Trump. People hate Trump so bad. They really do, and they want the economy to crash so they can blame Trump for it. But the problem is, they made this virus thing sound so bad when it wasn't, that when Trump puts these things in place, the virus is going to go away on its frickin' own. So if you just left it alone, it would go away, okay? But instead, Trump put all these drastic, draconian measures in place. So now it looks like Trump has fixed it. Like, oh, it's going away. Trump's a miracle worker. No, it would have gone away anyway. Instead, we put these stupid, do you know what they're saying now? In a mainstream news source, I forget which one, they're now saying that, you know what, this shutdown didn't do anything. It would have gone away by itself. The shutdown measures really didn't affect the virus at all. Yeah, that's the facts. That's the facts. I think they're doing that now because they're starting to see that people are looking at Trump as a hero, the virus beater. No, he's not. He just happened to be there putting stupid measures into place to fight something that was going to go there in spite of it and go away in spite of it. But now that he looks like a hero, now they're trying to portray this as, well, none of these measures were really needed. Look at the science behind this, which, why didn't you do that before? No, I'm nuts. Look at the science behind it. It's not none of these stupid measures put in place like social distancing, wearing masks. None of this stuff did anything. So now they're trying to portray Trump as he brought the country to financial ruin for no reason. He did it unnecessarily. See, I'm starting to stutter because I'm getting upset. He did it unnecessarily. This thing, we got riots all over the country because people are babies and they've been taught to think of themselves as being oppressed, and so they were raised by moronic people. They had no rules growing up. They had no fathers. it's amazing that these things are happening in Democrat-run cities. There's no discipline. There's no resolve to stop it because, well, we don't want to stop it. We don't want to stop all the nice black people burning everything down because we might come across as racist. And so they're not doing anything. They're standing down. Well, they have the right to be aggrieved. They do? No, they don't. No, they don't. So Trump says, I'm going to send out the National Guard. You better frickin' send out the National Guard or the military, Apache helicopters, whatever it takes. You got to stop this. So this is an opportunity for Trump to be a hero, to stop this, to protect the country. I don't know what he's waiting for. What the hell is he waiting for? What is he waiting for? He's making political calculations now. He used to be a guy that flew by the seat of his pants. Now he's just making political calculation after political calculation. He better frickin' hurry up and get it right soon, because if he does, he'll be seen as a conqueror. And I told you, I believe he's the white horse rider, the false white horse rider of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and that if he overcomes this, and if he cracks down on it and protects the people, well, but they might think of me as racist. They're going to think of you as racist anyway, no matter what you do. Don't you realize that, Trumpy Trump? They're going to look at you as racist no matter what. So just stop it. Get in there. We need law and order. The first person that broke into a store should have been arrested. But no, these sissy, wimp, liberal, lefty cops and governors, well, we can't go near them. They have a right to protest. They have a right to protest because they've been oppressed for 300 years. And it's the law, the breaking of the law, the breaking of windows is justified because think of these poor people. Oh, these poor people. Yeah, well, there's, the soft bigotry of low expectations. What else do you expect them to do? I expect them to be citizens who abide to law and order, who respect the rights and the properties of other. I saw this poor other people. I saw this poor black woman on the news, and she's crying, and she's saying like, they wrecked my store. They're scaring me. I can't go get my groceries now, and all this. So these racial groups that are rioting, they're not doing it for the betterment of their race. Speaking specifically now of the black American race, they're not doing it for the benefit. They're doing it to air their grievances. Plus, they want shit, and they can get free shoes and free diamond rings. Wow, that's pretty convenient for them, but not for anybody else.